speaking with Vicki Lawrence. You may know her from, of course, her years on the Carol Burnett Show, and then her own show that she had on TV called Mama's Family, where she played the I can say character, I think, Thelma Harper. And you had a lot of good years running with both of those shows.
I did. I was super lucky, wasn't I?
Yes, very much so. It's kind of interesting. I've done a lot of reading on the biography of you getting started all the way back in high school when you were voted most likely to succeed by your graduating class.
I was.
And I guess I could say that. I guess you did, didn't you?
Yeah. I sort of feel like I got kidnapped by show business, really.
Well, it's kind of it's a funny story. If people haven't had a chance to check it out, they can go to YouTube and check out a lot of videos how you talked about how you got with Carol Burnett. But it's just very entertaining how that happened.
Yeah, it's not what I ever intended to do. I honestly thought I was going to graduate from high school, study dental hygiene, go to college, study dental hygiene, learn to clean teeth, marry a rich dentist, hang it up.
Okay.
And then when I was in high school, I wrote this fan letter to Carol. I entered a little contest, and the newspaper gal said that I looked like a young Carol Burnett.
Yeah.
So my mom said, why don't you sit down and write her a fan letter? So I did, and it magically landed on her desk the day of the contest, and she took my dad's name out of the article, looked us up in the phone book, called me after school, and made arrangements to come and see the contest. And it just happened. She and her husband had just moved out from New York. They were just in the early planning stages of putting together the Carol Burnett Show.
Wow. All those great years that you had with Carol, along with Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, Lyle Wagner. Let me ask you this. For folks that watched the Carol Burnett Show, as I did on the Saturday nights, was it really that difficult to work with Tim Conway and keeping that straight face?
Oh, Tim, of all of us, was the non-rehearser. My memories of Tim are he was always in the back of the studio building something with the prop man or rewriting his lines. If you looked out at his cue cards on any given tape night and you saw one of Tim's cards that said Saber, that meant here comes the joke that is going to save the sketch that nobody has heard yet. And you'd just say, okay, you'd just fasten your seatbelt. Here we go.
All right. Yeah.
Lord only knows.
You only know and you never knew, did you?
We actually used to have a pool back in the green room you could get into for $1, and it was how many seconds into the sketch will Harvey lose it?
And so many times, boy, he was biting his lip.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, you spent 11 years with Carol, earning 1 Emmy Award, 5 Emmy nominations. The big thing I remember growing up, I'm 57, and I just still, to this day, can remember when the night the lights went out in Georgia came out in 72. Just a fantastic song.
Oh, thank you.
Bobby Russell wrote that, and I guess he thought it wasn't really all that great a song, and I understand that Cher even turned it down to release it. Everybody
turned it down. Nobody wanted that. Everybody said it will offend the South. Bobby didn't even want to do the demo.
Yeah.
And I said, I kept saying, it's a smash.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I finally did the demo for it. We took it to his producer, who literally could not give it away. And everybody said it needs to be rewritten, and Bobby didn't like it. He said, I don't like it. Why would I rewrite it? I didn't like it in the first place.
Right.
And so finally, literally, his producer just threw his hands up and said, let's just go in the studio and do it with Vicki. So it was, my one little juggernaut of a hit record.
Yeah.
But, I was married to Bobby for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was sort of the ultimate demise of an already doomed marriage.
All right.
So.
Okay.
Kind of an interesting little chapter in my life.
Yeah, definitely. You went on something I think is very neat. You went on to Vietnam to visit the troops with Johnny Grant.
I did.
I bet that was an experience.
I did, and I'll tell you, it was an incredible experience. It was. We were there 3 weeks. And saw every bit of that country, you know, from north to south. And when I got home, I collected names of soldiers on the way, and I called their parents when I got home. I spent like 2 weeks on the phone after work every day. I would sit and call parents and just say, because that was before cell phones, before the internet. And, they would maybe be able to get on a ham radio once in a while, but
right.
generally speaking, not communication like there is now.
Yeah.
And so it was, and I was still, every once in a while, there'll be a knock on the stage door when I'm doing my show. And somebody will come back and say, there's some guy at the door who says he met you in Vietnam. And I'm like, oh, my God, bring him back.
Wow.
Because we have to do the, before and after pictures.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's really cool. Now,
it was an incredible trip.
Yeah. And, of course, Mama's Family. You played Thelma Harper with Ken Berry, Dorothy Lyman, Beverly Archer, and Alan Kaiser?
Kaiser,
yeah. Okay, just a fantastic show. And DVD still available for that show. And I guess it did even better in syndication after it came out.
It is back on MeTV now, and it's doing great again.
Yeah, so it's always
one of those silly, fun shows, and I was lucky enough to take much of the Burnett staff with me when I went to do Mama's Family.
Yeah.
So, it was a blast. It was like doing Carol's show, very much.
Right.
But these particular episodes that are out now at Costco are they're fun for me because they're like watching home movies, because they have not been seen since they were on the air 40 years ago. And, well, actually, more than 40. Carol, we had dinner with Carol a couple weeks ago, and she said, not this September, but next September, believe it or not, is going to be our 50th anniversary.
Wow, doesn't seem possible.
Which is just incredible to me. She said, I think we might have to do something. She said, I don't know what yet. But,
okay. All right. That would be great. All right. Vicki Lawrence with us this morning. Vicki, thank you very much for taking the time and visiting with us. I know you have a busy schedule. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.